Hello and welcome to another Simplified Astro video, and today we're going to be looking at the Pegasus Astro Ultimate Power Box. Pegasus refer to it as a UPB, people call it various things. Basically it's a little self-contained hub which contains USB hubs and power ports, some PWM outputs for dew heaters and a robo focus or moonlight compatible focus controller. Now I've had one of these since the very early days, one of the very first ones. There's been multiple software updates since then. Pegasus are very good at updating the software and bringing new versions out. They're also very good at listening to new ideas and introducing that into the software. I've had absolutely no issues whatsoever with the one that I have already. So when I had some issues with my Eagle 2 and which has resulted in that going back, but I will do another video on that, I had no hesitation whatsoever in going back to a mini PC and the Pegasus Astro Ultimate Power Box. It really is a good piece of kit. So I'm going to open it up, I'm going to measure it, I'm going to weigh it and show you all the features. So we'll do the box opening first and then I'll start going through all of the features and functions of it. So let's have a little look. This is how it comes packed. It comes double boxed. There's a box on the outside, but this is the inner box. Nothing too special about a box, I suppose. So inside we've got a little Pegasus Astro sticker, if you want to have a little look at that. We have a little quick start guide, I guess this is. Yes, quick start guide with the various options and so on that you can have on it. There's a little catalogue of the various things that Pegasus Astro do. So it's to do with the power hub and other bits and bobs. So we have a 12 volt lead. Now this one is 2.5 by 5.5. 12 volt lead with a cigar type lighter socket on it. That's fused. I'm guessing that's going to be fused at 10 amps. That's about, I think they're about 3 meters or so long. We can have a little measure of that in a minute. You get a USB 2 lead. So it's just a standard USB A to B lead. You actually get 4 power leads. These are standard 2.1 by 5.5 tip positive or center positive, tip positive, whichever you want to call them, power leads. I think these are 1 meter long each. You get 4 of these, and they're actually very good quality. They're quite thick, they're quite well made, and they're reasonably good leads, these ones. So they're exactly the same as I had before and I had no issues with them. So you get 4 of those for the outputs. You also get in here, this is the temperature sensor and humidity sensor. So this plugs into the unit and you put this and house this, got a little hole in there so you can put a cable tie or something through it, and then this plugs in. This just houses somewhere around your focuser, just so you measure the temperature and the humidity. They use this for 2 reasons. Number one, for temperature control for the autofocuser, so you can use the ASCOM driver and use this to autofocus on temperature change. And they also use this to measure the humidity to control the dew heater outputs. The dew heater outputs have an automatic function so that you can just switch them on to automatic and they'll come on if they're needed. It calculates the dew point and then switches them on. It's a very clever function and works very well. And now the Ultimate Power Box. So we'll move this out of the way. This really is a super compact unit for what it does. It's very good. Super light. I mean, in fact, we'll weigh it and just see how much it is, how much it weighs. It weighs pretty well exactly 300 grams, so it's super light, really good. It's not going to bother your balance on your telescope too much. And we'll show you the dimensions. It is 125 millimeters long by 105 wide by 35 deep. So it's really quite small, quite compact and very light. So if we look at the functions and controls, on this end here we have the 12 volt input. This will run up to 14 volts. So at 13.8 volts is fine. At 14 volts it will give you a warning and tell you that your voltage is too high. It won't shut down, it won't cause any damage. I think it actually does shut off the outputs, but it won't cause any damage. Damage will occur at 15 volts, so don't go above that. But it's quite happy to run on a standard bench type 13.8 volt DC power supply. It says 12 volt DC in, but it's very happy to run at 13.8. You've got two Joule heaters, the PWM outputs here, 0 to 12 volts, fully controllable by software. There's no hardware controls for the Joule heaters or focus control or anything like that. It's all in software. You can also use one of those for a flat panel if you want. And then you've got the four 2.1 by 5.5 12 volt outputs. Each one of these is capable of outputting 7 amps. So they're MOSFETs on the, or I think they're MOSFETs, yeah, output. So that each one's capable of outputting 7 amps. And again, these are fully configurable. Every one you can switch on and off individually in software, and you can monitor the current that each one is pulling. We'll run through the software later on when I'll review that. On the other end, we have an RJ45. Now, the early versions, like my one, had an RJ12 on the end. They've changed that now to an RJ45, so that's for the focus controller output. It's fully RoboFocus and Moonlight compatible. There are some pinout configurations which Pegasus Astro give you on their website. I'll put those up at the end so you can see what they are. And then you have USB 2 in, and you have 6 USB 2 output ports. Now, all of the ports are switchable. They're not individually, they all switch off with the exception of port 6. Now, port 6 in particular is a power output port. It's capable of delivering 3 amps, so if you have a little CompuStick type computer stick that you want to put in there, put it in port 6. The reason being, if you have to reset the USB to hub, which you can do from in software, port 6 stays on. It doesn't switch off. Only port 1 to 5 switch off. Port 6 delivers 3 amps and stays on. The little 2.1 mil, I forget what size these are, little pin out here, 2.5 I think, and that's for the temperature and humidity sensor there. And that really is about it. Hardware wise, it's a really nice aluminium case, blue anodized aluminium. The end sections are got a plastic trim and aluminium infills on the end there. I mean, it's quite substantially built. It's quite nice. It's got a little red LED in for the power in. Now that is also controllable in software. You can switch it off, so that's quite handy. So you can see whether you've got the power on, then just turn it off. But it's lovely. I mean, you know, I've got absolutely no issues with the one that I've been running for a long time now. I mean, it's just been perfect. No faults, no shutdowns, no USB issues, nothing at all. So I really had no hesitation whatsoever in buying another one. So what I'll do now is I'll finish the opening review here. We'll plug this in, get it up and running on the PC, and I'll do part 2 of the video where we'll run through the software and you can see exactly how it works. Now, just before we go, there's a couple of things I want to show you. Firstly, the optional black anodized aluminium mounting brackets that are available. These just, you unscrew the 4 screws at each end of the hub, and then these brackets fix on, and they let you secure it to Losmandy plates and dovetails and whatnots. Also is the wiring diagrams, the pinouts for the RJ12 and the RJ45 connectors for your motor focus. This is RJ12 or RJ45 to DB9, so you can fit Moonlight, RoboFocus, Lakeside and so on The older version, such as my first one, came with an RJ12 plug, and the later versions, which are available now, come with the RJ45. So just make sure that you get the right one when you decide to make a lead up. You can get the lead. Pegasus will supply you with a lead as well, but it's also quite easy to make your own. So hopefully this opening's been useful, and I will make now a second video with the software and the functions and controls, and post that up as soon as that's done. I will see you soon. Bye.